So today we have the literal dumbest thing I think I've ever heard of. What happens when a fake cop pulls over a real police sergeant from Code Blue Cam? So let me give you the full story. There's this cop driving through traffic and he sees another cop car, or he thinks it's a cop car.
In September 2023, an on-duty sergeant from the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department was traveling through a construction zone in his unmarked squad car when he spotted a Ford Explorer that closely resembled Indiana State Police vehicles. The driver, 23-year-old Jonathan Becker, wore a neon green uniform shirt with patches, similar to Indiana law enforcement attire. Jonathan soon pulled in behind the sergeant and activated his white and amber emergency lights, signaling what appeared to be a traffic stop. In response, the sergeant pulled over, but Jonathan continued driving, turned off the lights, and was later seen in another construction area with workers dressed in similar attire. The sergeant asked Jonathan if he was a police officer, but Jonathan denied it and accused the sergeant of speeding in the construction zone.
So this guy's a cop, so he notices the car pulling him over doesn't have any like cop logos or any city logos or anything on it. So this guy's been impersonating a cop, and I don't think that's good. You can't just do that. Bruce Wayne over here thinks he can take the laws into his own hands, and I just want to see him get his just desserts. Yeah. So,
are you a police officer in the state of Indiana?
I already answered this question.
Damn, bro, you want some fucking tobacco with that tobacco? Jesus Christ. That's the biggest chunk of tobacco I've ever seen.
Well, the reason I asked you before is because I wanted to make sure if you are a police officer.
I already told you my answer.
Okay. Stop asking. You told me you're not a police officer.
I already answered that question.
You understand why I stopped to talk to you, correct?
Yeah, because you flew past me going 80 miles an hour in a close to 55.
Okay.
For no reason. How do I know you're not on your way to the call because your lights are on?
What lights?
You're not in a police car, a marked police car. Okay. And then you put your badge on to talk to me.
Correct.
And your gun.
I didn't put my gun on. I have my gun with me because I'm a police officer.
All right. Well, I didn't see your badge on.
So this guy, Handy Manny over here. He's standing over here and he's got the moral high ground, you know. He's like, yes, he was the one who pulled over this guy. This guy is the sergeant who got pulled over. What a crazy thing to do. How unlucky do you have to be to like randomly pull over a car and that car happens to be a cop when you yourself are impersonating a cop?
Has anybody tasked you with the responsibility to flash your lights at motorists on the road and tell them to slow down while you're driving?
What do we do?
Okay, what you're doing right now is stationary on the side of the road, trying to ensure the safety of people in a construction zone, right?
Yep.
Okay. You understand the difference between motoring public on 465, which is a busy interstate in Indianapolis.
I don't know what your point is here.
Okay.
This cop is he's relentless with the questions. He won't spill the beans on what his true motivations are. But something tells me he knows that he fucked up. Just look at the way he's standing. He's so tense. He knows he's wrong. And then the cop asks him, so do you think that, you know, anybody might mistake your vehicle for a police car or any other emergency vehicle? Because, you know, it's the exact make and model that every other police car is. So you don't think that maybe people confuse that for a police car? Maybe just a little bit, just the tiniest bit. And the guy's like, nah. It's just like every other car. It's like that car and that car and that car. Maybe this guy wasn't smart enough to make it as a real cop. So this is just what he chose to do instead.
You didn't activate these lights right in the front of your car?
No, my strobe lights, I did not.
Okay, what lights did you activate?
I didn't activate any lights.
Okay, so there's
two different proof that I did.
Two different stories you've given me. You said before it wasn't your strobes, it's your high beams.
Well, you said strobes. You told the Lawrence officer I thought.
This guy's a professional. He's trying to cast confusion on the officer. It's working on me. I'm very confused, but this guy is not budging. This officer, he knows his stuff.
So now you have two different stories, okay? So now you said
understand the action of these
headlights.
lights?
So you said headlights and then strobes. So which one? Which one did you see?
I'm asking you what you activated, and you said you didn't activate anything, which is not accurate.
John explained that he owns Indiana Traffic Operations, a company specializing in traffic control at construction sites to ensure the safety of construction crews.
I have plenty of guys that work with me, cops, IPD guys. So
Are you on for place for the wreck?
Oh, so apparently he runs a company. So if there's construction happening, he would be putting down the cones. He'd be, you know, directing the flow of traffic around the construction site. But apparently what he's been doing is pulling people over for speeding. I'm pretty sure You can't just pull someone over for speeding because you think they're speeding. Your job is to keep the construction crew safe. You can't just be pulling people over. All the time you spend pulling people over for speeding, the construction crew could be getting hit. You're not doing your job.
It was also discovered John was on probation for unlawful display of emergency lights on a vehicle.
So it's not his first offense. This person has been impersonating an officer a long time, and he knows the consequences of doing so. That's probably why he's acting so nervous. I wonder what his probation officer is going to think when he finds out that he uses flashing police lights again.
Is your driver's license? Are you on probation?
Yeah.
You're on probation.
You already know the answer to that
Hancock
question.
County?
You already know the answer.
What are
to
you
that
on
question.
probation for?
You already know the answer to that question. You looked it up, so you already know.
Okay. What do you think he's on probation for? No, actually, I've never seen somebody on probation for it, but he's on probation for improper use of emergency lights.
Okay, hold on. Reverse. You said improper use. What did it say? Now you're implying to him that I use red and blue light.
So now he's accusing all of these police officers of just straight up slandering his name. He's like, no. You're implying that I use blue and red lights. No. These are white and amber lights. These are different lights.
You're lucky I don't tow it, which is within my purview.
Okay.
Okay? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I've got your ID. You have this gentleman's information. I'm going to make a police report.
Okay.
How that handles anything for your business based on what your current status is, I do not know. My suggestion to you is, this is probably a bad idea. Your intentions may have been good, but bad things happen when people start down that road. And I'm not talking about you happen to flash them at a police officer. I'm talking about people get pissed off. I legitimately was doing something that you have no idea what I'm doing. That's what we do for a living. It was just your bad luck that happened to be what I do for a living.
So the cop is explaining to this gentleman that what he's doing is wrong. How it can be interpreted as him impersonating a police officer. And it's probably not going to be good for his probation. But this guy just won't take it. He still is like, yeah, but you were going 80 in a 55. He thinks that this cop speeding is like a golden ticket that's going to like exonerate him from doing any wrong because the cop was also doing wrong. But that's not how that works. Only the cop has the power to actually arrest people.
If you're in like an unmarked course or something like that, all right, cool. But you said you're in COVID investigation.
Not COVID, covert. Yes.
Okay.
What we do, I'll tell you what I do.
COVID
for a living.
investigations. He's got like 5 pissed off cops surrounding him. And this one guy is still trying to let him off easy. And he's just not taking the hint. He's just trying to stand his non-existent ground.
I've seen this car like flying.
Are they together?
I think so. The skinny one with glasses drives that.
Somebody
car. He does have red and blue.
Yeah.
I've never seen this one with lights on, but I've seen him at the crew car wash, and I could have swear I saw steady burns that are red and blue.
It's like it's clear what they're doing. Like you're wearing.
That's crazy. So the other cops have seen these guys around town. Yeah, they definitely have red and blue lights that they flash from time to time. Maybe this car doesn't have the red and blue lights, but one of the cars that these people in this company have are red and blue. I think they've been trying to impersonate police officers, and I think that this company is a cover-up so that when they get caught by police officers, they can just say, hey, we only protect construction people.
Come on, man. We all know, whether you want to admit it or not, what you're trying to do. There's a place for that. Apparently, based on what you're saying, you're trying to get me to slow down, okay? It's not your job, unfortunately, today.
Well, you're
Maybe
the
it will
police.
be in the
You
future.
shouldn't be driving like that anyway.
It's not your call. You don't know what
No,
I'm doing.
it's not my call. But you as
So
a
then
police
don't do
officer,
it.
you should be driving with due regard. And that was not due regard. And I'm sure he can vouch for me. That was not due regard.
Why does he keep trying to like drag other police officers into his... He's always trying to say, I know this guy agrees with me. The fucking police officer. I don't think they're on your side, buddy. I don't think you understand the situation you're in. And like, you're trying to out-morality this guy.
Coming up behind me, and I couldn't see the plate, I couldn't see the lights. I would 100% think it was a cop, like an out-of-county cop.
Weaving
Mr.
in and out.
Becker,
Oh, no. Hold on.
listen to
You
me.
had your piece.
I will
I'm
not
gonna
be
have mine.
lectured.
Okay,
It
all
is
right.
not your place.
Yeah, because you should know better.
You don't know what I
You're
was
the police.
doing.
I'm not even the police, dude.
So what
He
was
just admitted it. He just admitted it. He just said it out point blank. I'm not the police.
And then
doing?
you asked me 20
Explain
times.
to me what I was doing.
Weaving in and out of traffic,
No.
signal, and speeding.
What was I
with
doing?
no due regard.
What was I looking for?
I don't care what you were looking for.
How? So that is
You're
not your
driving
place.
with no due regard.
That is not accurate. How do you
Exactly.
know? Was I
So maybe you
following a
should have
murder
somebody-
suspect?
So maybe.
Was I following a murder suspect?
That's your business.
Was I following a murder suspect?
Obviously not. You were
Was I
following
following?
me.
How do you know?
Because you followed me here.
How do you
You
know?
follow that murder suspect. You'd be following him right now. You wouldn't be talking to me,
You make
right?
my point for me, okay?
He's trying his absolute hardest to gain any semblance of control in this situation. Every time this police officer stops talking, he's like, yeah, but you were speeding though. You're a police officer. You should know better than speed. You're kind of breaking the law, officer. Police officers, a lot of the time, do not follow traffic. They'll cut their lights on and cut through red lights. But at the same time, I would rather them do that than, you know, take their sweet time getting to like a crime scene or getting to someone who actually needs help. This fucking guy is not a police officer. And so he might feel like they're being unsafe, but at the same time, they have a job to do, and you don't know really what the fuck they're doing. They could be like chasing a psychopath, you know, and if they get there just a second before, shit might hit the fan. But this guy just can't wrap his head around the concept that maybe a police officer wouldn't be following the rules of the road, and he's taking it upon himself to lecture this police officer. But he doesn't have any authority over anything. He's just some goober. He's just some goober. This guy has a badge. He has Indiana traffic operation. Not even the same level. Nowhere near the same level.
It's not your place.
It's not your plate. You're a citizen. I'm sorry. You can drive down the street and want it all
So,
day.
I'm not asking you to give me a lecture. I'm here just explaining to you. Actually, I was out here working. I understand now. You think, whatever, I'm wasting my time here.
Okay, but you get where I'm coming from, right? I just see some
You understand?
jackass
I don't like.
driving down the
Okay,
road.
well,
going
you
50.
call him a jail.
It doesn't matter.
And he just keeps doing that. He's just digging that hole deeper and deeper.
You have to understand. You're trying to, in this conversation, justify what you're saying you're not doing. Anyway, I'm gonna snap a couple pictures of your vehicle. I've already got your information. You're free to go. Do you have any questions for me?
I'll just see that copy of your business card.
I don't have it.
This guy's trying to collect the police officer's information now? Are you serious? I think he's hitting on you a little bit. Ha ha ha.
Can you just pull a number and then write it down for him?
You just run it 3012 as an organizational plate,
No, it took me a while to get it, but it is like an LF plate.
like a
is the
supporter
code.
plate.
No, it's a law enforcement plate.
Just
Yeah.
humor me.
Wait, run that back. Show me the two. So this is a real police officer's plate. It says state police on it, and it has the Indiana state. This one has the Indiana state, and it has no state police. But what they both have in common is the letter O in the second position, and they both have 4 characters. So does the O being in that position automatically mean it's a police officer? That makes sense, right? Even though on a real police officer's plate it says state police. But I guess if it was an unmarked vehicle, it would just be the numbers, right? Probably wrong about that. Let me know in the comments.
Just
Yeah.
humor me and run it 3012 on an OR.
Yeah, it has to be.
What the?
It's 3012.
Did he say how he has
LF.
what was it, like Warren, like Michigan City or whatever it was?
Yeah. So.
Oh, they found something.
Warren County, Williamsport is way out west.
John claimed he purchased the vehicle several months prior, along with the equipment inside. Officers observed a radar gun, a radio box, light siren box, and a mounted computer in plain view.
This guy is literally cosplaying a police officer right now. He's got Facebook open on his laptop, on a laptop mount in his car. He's got a radar. He's got all these police officer stuff. And his company is meant to direct traffic around construction crews, mind you. So why would someone who escorts cars around construction crews need a radar? Typically, you don't need to know how fast people are going in order to direct them away from the people who you're trying to not get hit. He must have spent like a couple grand on this setup. Johnny is balling. His company must be doing well.
Something with the date that you bought the car to show me that it's not older than 30 days.
Oh, I got a temp tag.
Perfect. Do you see what this says? Please display this portion in the rear vehicle window. Does it say anywhere on there to put a plate off of another car and just drive around with it? It doesn't.
Oh my god. So he was driving around with plates for a different car. So there's layers to this guy's stupidity. Okay, there's the layer of impersonating a cop already, which is pretty dumb to do openly. He's just so full of himself. He's so convinced that he's in the right and that these cops are wrong, that he can just do whatever he wants. And then there's the layer of, actually putting the tags for a different vehicle on the one you're driving, which is pure stupidity. I couldn't even write a character more stupid.
My bad. My bad.
Everyone's laughing. That's a crazy response to, hey, these tags don't match the car. Oopsies. My bad.
While retrieving the vehicle registration, since the plates were linked to a different vehicle, officers noticed a Glock magazine, 2 pairs of handcuffs in the passenger door, and what appeared to be tactical vest and body armor in the back seat.
Because he's cosplaying a police
You do
officer.
security. Do you understand that doing security means you cannot put someone in handcuffs? That's what the real police do, is put
Okay.
people in handcuffs.
Yeah,
Oof,
I understand.
got him.
There's no firearm in here, but there's a magazine and bullets.
Yeah, well, I got obviously clean this out. 'cause
Oof,
I
it's
just
not looking
transferred
good, buddy.
my other car, but there's no gun. I have a Glock. It's,
Watch, it's not registered though.
Where's it at?
but I can't carry it, right? Because I'm on probation.
You know your business better than us.
So John was off the hook. These guys were leaving. But John wasn't done. No. So he starts taking pictures of their vehicles for some reason.
Given the odd and suspicious nature of the situation, the sergeant decided to dig further. After the incident, the sergeant reached out to other law enforcement agencies to see if they were aware of similar interactions with John. He received a photograph from June 2022 showing John directing traffic for churchgoers leaving a service. The photo had been taken by someone who was concerned that the vehicle John was using resembled a fake Indiana State Police vehicle. The investigation deepened as the sergeant reviewed footage from August 2022, recorded during the funeral procession of an Elwood police officer killed in the line of duty. Amid the procession of police vehicles with flashing emergency lights,
There's no
one
way.
vehicle stood out. A
There's
car
no
operated by
way.
John, equipped with red and white emergency lights bearing a license plate that read Indiana Traffic Operations.
How dumb do you have to fucking be? There's a funeral procession for a cop? It's so this goober, this fucking dumbass was like, oh, I'm going to put myself in there. You know, sometimes you hear about stupid people on the internet and you're like, oh, well, you just don't think about it. But this is advanced stupidity.
However, the sergeant would soon learn that John made his day-to-day activities well known to the world. Police
He's a streamer,
discovered
isn't he?
numerous photos on his public Facebook profile showing him dressed in attire similar to law enforcement uniforms. Among the posts on his page was a photo of John changing a flat tire, but what drew attention was his utility belt, which clearly
gun on it.
displayed a firearm. Police subsequently reviewed John's TikTok page, Indy Traffic
Crazy.
Cops, which contained hundreds of videos showcasing police vehicles, including his own fleet. In one video, John proudly displayed the interior of a Dodge Charger equipped with emergency lights, and a silver IMPD police badge was visible.
So, yeah. To add on to the layers of stupidity, there's the layers of recording everything you do and posting it on the internet. So yeah, John's about as smart as every other, you know. We've seen it before. There's people like this all over the internet who is just recording themselves doing crimes. And in this case, it literally backfired on him because now he just gave all the police the evidence they need to, he's literally impersonating a police officer. He's cosplaying him like he's fucking Hatsune Miku over here. What the hell?
The investigating sergeant believed these posts conveyed a misleading impression that Indiana Traffic Operations was connected to official law enforcement agencies or activities. The company's website was also reviewed, revealing several professionally taken photos of John. The sergeant particularly noted the images where John was standing in a public roadway, directing or possibly obstructing traffic.
So bro would just get out. He would just get out in traffic in front of cars and just be like, yep, I'm directing traffic. You're an idiot, John.
Did a record search too, and confirmed John had never been a police officer with the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department or any other agency. However, he had participated in the IMPD's Explorer program as a high school student in 2016, a detail confirmed by old YouTube videos on his channel, along with other law enforcement related content. With that, his interactions with real police officers stretch back to 2021, when John was stopped for operating a silver Dodge Charger, outfitted with equipment mimicking that of unmarked police vehicles. Items like handcuffs and an Ohio State Highway Patrol sticker were discovered. John was cited and warned about driving a vehicle designed to impersonate law enforcement.
Interesting. So This isn't the first time he's been pulled over for driving a vehicle that looks suspiciously like a police vehicle. I feel like this is a lot of evidence, and I just really hope they use it against him. I just really hope this is how far this guy is going to go to cosplay a cop. So I'm gonna make a theory here. I'm just gonna ballpark a theory about a guy who I don't know and I'm never gonna meet in my entire life. So he was in some sort of program for cops in high school, right? So what if he was in that program and saw all of the status that came with being a police officer? If I impersonate a police officer, they'll think I'm really cool. And then it just snowballed from there. So he bought the car, he bought all of the equipment, and then he starts recording it on TikTok thinking, oh, this is what people want to see. This is going to help grow my internet presence. But he didn't once for a second think that maybe this was illegal. Or he did. No, he knows it's illegal. He knows it's fucking illegal. He was willing to take this risk just for that sweet internet clout. That's sweet internet clout. Like and subscribe, by the way.
By April 2023, John was stopped again, this time for moving violations. A different Dodge Charger, now with state police-style decals, carried a firearm on the passenger seat and tools associated with emergency responders. When officers asked John at the time about the color of the lights on the Charger, he replied, "Get a warrant." In May 2023,
that's
the
crazy.
sergeant reviewed footage from another agency showing John arriving at an accident scene before first responders. He blocked a lane of traffic and walked freely among injured parties, police officers, and firefighters. At one
Dude is
point
just
in the
popping
footage,
up like a
both
fucking Baba
police sergeant
Yaga,
and a
just
firefighter
random
appeared
events,
confused about
like he's a
John's
police
identity
officer.
and his presence at the scene. The investigation also revealed John had owned 22 vehicle titles, most of which
22. Is this an accurate spreadsheet? Or is this like an infographic that's just meant for the transition? Forward, dodge, dodge, forward. He has a whole fleet of fucking vehicles. This is literally his own private militia.
only 4 were active at the time of the inquiry. Based on several
Oh, so he only has 4 active right now. That's good. Actually, he has 5. Come on, John.
these factors, the investigating sergeant who was initially pulled over by John concluded that John had falsely portrayed himself as a law enforcement officer. On
Yes.
October 17th, 2023, the state of Indiana filed a probable cause affidavit. After a review, probable cause was established and a warrant for John's arrest was issued. The following day, records show that John had been taken into custody.
Well, John, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Ultimately,
Ding, ding, ding.
John was charged with impersonation of a public servant, a level 6 felony offense. He had also received a Class C infraction for operating a motor vehicle with a false plate, and he was released a few days later on a $250 cash bond. But the story didn't end there. Just over a year
There's
later,
more?
John dug himself into deeper shit. He was arrested once again, this time for felony impersonation of a public servant and unlawfully carrying a handgun in his white Ford F-150, a newer
So he
addition
just-
to
he
his
just
fleet
never
that he had
stops.
proudly showcased on his TikTok page shortly before the arrest.
Wow.
I think this ship has sailed, but why didn't he just apply to be a police officer?
That's what I said. I'm pretty sure you can just be a police officer. There's no need for you to go through all this trouble getting all of the equipment, all of the decals for your car, and the cars themselves. You can just be a police officer if you really want to. It's hard work and dedication, but you can do it. Clearly, this guy didn't have any of those things. He wasn't hardworking. Well, he was hardworking. Did you see all those TikToks he made? He had to at least have driven the car and had someone record him. So that's a lot of hard work. But all the time and money he spent impersonating a cop could have went into actually becoming a cop. But no, he decided to just be a criminal, to pretend to be a cop, to pretend to be someone who contributes to society. What a weird thing to do. But that's the end of this video. Just cosplay anime characters, man. What the fuck? What happened to good old-fashioned cosplaying anime characters, man? Don't cosplay cops.